What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday over here. Crypto markets are bleeding today. Bitcoin leading the crypto markets in this drop, down almost 4%, almost down to about 26K. What could be going on in this market? Will this drop continue, or is this just a dip before further upside movement in the market? We're going to be taking a look into Bitcoin and the crypto markets as a whole, but the main topic of this post will be about Kaspa USDT, and seeing what is going on in this market. Could there be a drop for this market as well that is coming? Going to be taking a look into some upside and downside price targets, as well as some key levels to be paying attention to in order to hit either of those targets on both the bullish and bearish case scenarios. I'm going to be giving you guys my personal sentiment and opinions on this market, so stick around for later in this video. And lastly, of course, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor nor an elite trader of any sort, even though I am a profitable trader who's managed to keep most of my profits in the last bear market. But I am looking to crush it here in the next bull cycle. So if you guys feel the same way, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and let's go right into the charts here. All right, so we do have Kaspa currently at about 3.3 cents. Let's just go through this chart real quick here, because at least on this chart, this is based on the MEXC exchange. This is what I've been able to find on this coin. I don't think I was able to find a listing on this coin with more data, at least that I recognize on a bigger exchange, right? Let me do it one more time, just to make sure. KuCoin, maybe. We could try it. We could try probably KuCoin. Let's try that and see if we can get a chart with more data. No. Just do one more try here real quick. Let's do it on an exchange that I at least kind of recognize. Gate.io. Never used it, but I know it's probably one of the bigger exchanges out there. So no. It seems like the one on MEXC is the one with the most data, at least the one that I'm seeing here. If you guys actually know another exchange that has more data to offer, then please type it in the comment box below. But this is the one chart that we're going to be looking at. It's the Kaspa USDT chart on MEXC, which is an exchange that I also use. I would get into that later if if there's time. But currently on this monthly time frame, let's go into the weekly time frame. We don't even have a moving average here on the monthly time frame. So let's go down to the weekly time frame and see a more detailed chart here, where I am seeing a rising wedge pattern here. Not too much else to comment on because there's just not that much data. We don't even have a lot of moving averages on this chart. In a way, I do kind of like. I'm kind of experimenting different ways of trading, and I am going to be experimenting ways of trading new coins, which would be a little different from how I trade coins with more data. What I get out of that experiment, maybe I'll share it with you guys. But right now it's too early, but I'm, trying to develop a new strategy in trading leverage, right? And that'll be with coins with less data and coins with more data. I'll give you guys my results when I feel like I get enough data. Now let's see here. On this weekly time frame, we do have a rising wedge pattern, which usually breaks the downside Now this bottom trend line here, I am more inclined. Right now, we do have 3 touches on these candles, but I am more inclined to have it something like this to line up with a major moving average. That gives that gives more validity to the bottom trend line and the pattern, because if it breaks the moving average as well as the trend line, then then that tells me the pattern is more likely that it's breaking. Versus, if we don't have the moving average right at the trend line, then if the price action breaks this bottom trend line, it can still get supported, right? But right now, that is what it's looking like. I think it's probably gonna look more like this. So that is a scenario to be mindful of. Now, rising wedges usually breaks the downside. Usually, not absolutely, but do go ahead and verify that on your own. Google search it, do some research, Investopedia, maybe that should also tell you. But if it actually breaks down, let's just say if it breaks down by next week, that will give you a measure move down to 0.1151. Well, let's just say 0.115 cents, okay? Which is basically the bottom here, almost, in that range, right? So could this coin avoid this crash? We're gonna have to see, right? This is the weekly time frame. Going to have to probably refresh charts on the lower time frames to tell me if the crash is in play, is it in continuation, or is it due for a bounce back. So I typically refresh my charts on the lower time frames to tell me what could be going on a higher time frame, right? That give me more probability of accuracy. Now, that is basically the downside targets. Some key levels to pay attention to on the downside, of course, first of all, is the weekly 21 SMA, currently at about 2 point, in about that 2.9 cents range, okay? 3-day 50 SMA is at about that 2.9 cents range as well. So quite a bit of support, in that range. Daily 200 is about that 2.5 cents range, okay? So these are going to be some key levels to be paying attention to if the price action was to break down, because these are some levels that the price action could bounce off of. A bounce does not necessarily mean that it's going to bounce and continue going upwards. It's just a spot where I would expect buyers to come in, and there could be some kind of consolidation, right, at that level. If it's going to be a bounce that will take you back up, or would it be just a short bounce before continuing down? You really just have to refresh the charts at that lower time frame. And of course, seeing candle closes, right? Either above or below that moving average, that will give you more sense of accuracy if it's gonna continue downwards or bounce and rebound. What else? So those are some key levels to be paying attention to, from about 2.5 cents to about 2.9 cents range, right? Because of the moving averages. If the price action breaches those levels, the next levels I'll be paying attention to would be from past wicks or past candles, right? We have a pretty big wick here from about 2 cents. Excuse me, 2 cents. Okay. If it gets any lower, then we're gonna have to just look at previous supports and resistances from these candles. But that is basically what I'm seeing so far, and some key price levels to be paying attention to that are not too far away. I don't have this coin, but I will open positions if I see a good setup. But if you guys want to continue seeing this coin, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe. If enough of you guys want to see it, I will continue to do updates on it for you guys. Now, if you guys have made it this far into this video and don't really have a Webull account but want to get some free stocks, please do check out my referral link down below. They're still giving away free stocks valued from $3,000 to $3,000, depending on your luck. If you're luckier, then you're going to get something more on the higher range. If you're not that lucky, then lower range. But regardless, you guys are going to get some free stocks if you guys open an account and deposit $100 US. So if you guys are going to trade anyways, why not? I enjoyed using Webull as an exchange before, and I think they were a great exchange for trading cryptos and stocks. But with any exchange, I would not put most or all my money on one exchange in case they go down, right? I personally spread my money around several exchanges, so I don't get wrecked, right? Now, let's see what could be happening with Kaspa here on the upside. On the upside here, the price action does need to break. There are exceptions to rising wedges to any pattern, right? Because there's going to be a break that usually happens, but there's going to be another break to the opposite direction that doesn't usually happen, but not necessarily impossible. If the price action was to continue, in this pattern, we could expect to see some resistance, right, on the upside, according to past candles here, right? The first one that I really see would be at about 4 cents area, right, referring to these wicks right here, and this is on the weekly time frame. The second, well, about 4 cents to about 4.5 in that area from these candles here. And then of course the previous resistance at about that 5 cents area. If the price action is able to actually break above that, I'm looking for a break above this trend line to tell me that it's actually broken out of this rising wedge pattern, which is very bullish because this is usually a bearish pattern, right? And if it was to break by next week, that is just an example. It does not necessarily mean it's going to break at all. But if the price action was to break it by next week, it does have to break 5.5 cents. And of course, if it breaks later, then it's going to have to break according to this top trend line here, right? That is a scenario where it's not usual, right? Because this is usually a bearish pattern. So some key price levels to pay attention to. Of course, you guys know my opinion on this market. It's going to heavily depend on Bitcoin. I do have some altcoin positions open, but I am looking to get back into the markets depending on what Bitcoin does and the setup. Right now, it's kind of unclear to me because it's still stuck between a possible breakdown and the weekly 200 and the daily 200 SMAs on top of, in addition, there's going to be other moving averages going into that area of about 27.5. So we're going to see, I'm going to see until after 27.5 at least. Or if, there's going to be a breakdown, then I'm going to be opening shorts if it seems appropriate, okay? Now, that's it for this post. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, comments. Hope to see you guys next time.